Oh, you're there. Hiya, groupsters. So I've been thinking, there's big ones, there's small ones, there's tall ones, there's short ones. There are some that are a bit top heavy, there are some that aren't. There are some with big bases, there are some with small bases. There's also some that discharge their load quickly, and there's some that don't. There's even some rippled ones, and there's even some smooth ones. But what am I talking about? What are you thinking about, eh? Snow foam cannons, of course. These. All right, so best we play some music, I think. Hi groupsters, so the review of the snow foam lances. Okay, so just to quickly go through which ones we're testing today. This one here is just a Chinese import, okay, just as sort of a control really. Definitely the cheapest one out of the range. This one here is by Blitz Detailing. This one here is by the Clay Cloth Company. This one here is from Alien Magic. This one here is from Stjarnagloss. And this one here is from Carbon Collective. Now, we're going to subject these to quite a few tests. We're going to look at price, we're going to look at weight, we'll look at topple rate, we're looking at the ability to adjust the foam mixture, the actual foam spray pattern control ergonomics, its weighting when it's on a quick release gun, etc., and obviously its ability to produce the foam. Now we're going to be using a standardized foam with the same ratio of 1 part snow foam to 9 parts water throughout. All right, so there's going to be sort of no adjustments. That is the common variable. The only a variable that's going to affect performance is going to be which snow foam lance we'll be using at the time. So we're going to do some tests inside where it's nice and warm, and then we're going to go outside and go through each one sequentially. All right, getting a feel for it, getting all the feedback, and then we'll do a wrap-up summary in the end. Now, I will say this review isn't about choosing the best one, because I know everyone likes to hear me say, this one's the best, this one's the best, this one's the best. This video isn't about that, okay, because there is a broad price range from around about £10 up to about £50 on this one. And as you usually go through the price range, you're getting more stuff, more functionality and lots of other stuff which I'll talk about when I'm doing this review. So for me to say that one is the best, it might be the best one in terms of price, okay, but that one there might be the best one in terms of performance. It really is down to what you want from your snow foam, how much you're prepared to pay, and only then will you decide yourself which is the best for you. Okay, so this is about providing choice, and we're sort of doing the work for you because we're doing all the testing. So you can go and choose one you like, go out and buy it with confidence. So we'll crack on. So test number one, we're going to weigh the snow foam cannons individually. This is important for some people. Okay, you're going to be doing the snow foaming of your car one-handed, so weight is an important variable, and you've already got the weight of the liquid sort of adding on to the weight of the cannon as well. So the lighter you can make the cannon, the better. And this also lends itself to using one of the short trigger guns, because it's got less leverage effect than if you were putting one of these cannons on the end of a longer power washer lance. All right, it's going to make your job easier, keeping the cannon as close to your hand as possible. So we're going to go through these individually. Just turn on the scales. It's reading 0, and we shall weigh them. So the Blitz Detailing lance weighs 595 grams. The next one is the Clay Cloth Company snow foam lance. Quite a lot lighter, that one, 515 grams. Next one is the Alien Magic one, 581. Next one is Stjarnagloss. Bit heavier, that one, 614. The next one is the Carbon Collective. Now this is the one that feels to me the heaviest, so proof of the pudding, 638. It's a lot heavier, that one. Finally, the Unbranded one from China, 400. So that's test number 1 done. A range from between 400 and 638, so quite a broad range. Hi guys, so now we're just going to try and analyse how stable these are. Alright, so when they're empty, they're all very inherently unstable. Okay, you've got all the big metal mechanism at the top, alright, and basically air below, so they're inherently going to be pushing over. More importantly though is when you've filled it up and it's at the side of you ready to go, okay, you just want it to be as stable as possible. So the stability of these snow foam cannons really is a relation between two things. It's how heavy the sort of upper mechanism part is and the design at the bottom. Now you used to find, especially with the old ones like this, very, very small base. They were very, very unstable. So as you can see, the majority of the producers nowadays are making these more stumpy bottles with a wider base, okay, which affords them extra stability. And as soon as you've got the water in, okay, it's going to be reducing that central gravity, so inherently they're going to be becoming more stable as well. But this is just really to see if there is any particularly poor ones in terms of stability, or some that have been designed, okay, and are inherently more stable, right? So there's 800 millilitres of water in all of these, and we're just going to sort of get a feel for which ones are stable and which ones aren't. All right, so it's not particularly scientific. Okay, I'll just go through them. So I'll just go from the right to, in fact we'll do them in the order that we did them. So Blitz Detailing is the first one. Okay, so just see, like I said, a lot more stable. If I was doing that right at the start empty, that would have gone over. In fact, all of them would go over. So I'm just at the back ends lined up so I can see roughly how much. So that's 2 inches, right, 3 inches, it's just about to go. Okay, so Blitz Detailing is 3 inches. The next one was the Clay Cloth Company's one, which is this one here. So we'll do the same again. So that's 1, 2, 3 again, so exactly the same actually, 3. Similar size bases on their one. So Alien Magic, which is this one, so I'll do this one as well. So I've got the back lined up with there so I can see. That's 1, 2, about 2.5. So slightly less for the Alien Magic, 2.5 inches. Next one is Stjarnagloss, which is the one, yep, at the end, this one. So exactly the same test. 1, 2, ooh, just over. So I'm going to give that 2 inches. Carbon Collective, which is this one here. It's 1, 2 again. Possibly because that one's taller actually, square base. 2 inches for Carbon Collective. And the Chinese Unbranded one, so I'll take the measurement so I can get this from there. So 1, 2, do that again to be fair. 1, 2, 2.5 for that one. Okay, so not much in it. I expected that one to topple more actually, okay, but I think that's because less weight brings the central gravity down, which compensates for the smallest one. So all of these between 2 and 3 inches. So good. Right, we're going to go on to the next test. Okay, so the first test we're going to do is look at the discharge rates of the actual snow foam cannons themselves. So in each of the 6 snow foam bottles, I've got 500 millilitres of water. They're all on maximum foam setting, and all I'm going to do is time it, how long it takes for it to discharge into the bucket. The only reason why I'm using a bucket is to stop water going everywhere. And this is part of the process when you were working out PIR or product impact ratios sort of equations. Okay, but I'm just doing it to time the amount of time it takes to discharge the bottle. I've got a stopwatch there. Okay, I'm going to do all 6 of the snow foam cannons and just look at it. So it's important because some people want a faster operating snow foam gun, okay, than others. Okay, and it just gives an idea as to how sort of what's going on in terms of the mechanics. Okay, the relationship between the water going in, okay, and sucking the product out as to how quickly it operates. So I'll put this on time warp and we'll give it a go. So guys, the bit you've probably all been waiting for, actually getting to use these for their intended purpose. So they're all loaded up with about 500 millilitres of product, so it's 1 part snow foam to 9 parts water, all measured up accurately. Okay, and just for information, we are using Mitchell and King snow foam. The reason being, Mitchell and King aren't getting tested on the snow foam cannons, so it's an independent snow foam, so no bias or slant towards any of the companies that we're testing. Okay, so we're going to be testing these for a variety of functionalities. All right, so mix adjustment, snow foam sort of pattern adjustment, any additional features, weight balance, ergonomics, all the good stuff. Okay, and we'll have some fun, so let's make a mess. So before I do start actually using the snow foams, there's a lot of people that are always asking questions about how can I get the most or the best snow foam? And there are so many variables, okay? It's to do with your water pressure. It's what machine you're using. I noticed a difference when I went from a Karcher K2 to a Karcher K4. Okay, it's higher pressure, its actual water throughput is higher as well, so that makes a difference. How long your hose is, how many of the auto shut off sort of hose connectors you've got, okay, it all regulates that water coming through. The mix ratio of your actual snow foam cannon, the mix that you mix, is it 1 part to 9 or 3 parts to 9, and all that kind of stuff. There's so many variables. In terms of the look on the car, if your car's been ceramic coated or it's got a hydrophobic coating, the slip rate's going to increase, so it's not going to loiter as long. So there's lots and lots of stuff. And obviously the snow foam itself, which we're not testing today. For example, my machine's making a weird noise. Built Hamber, okay, is one of my favourite snow foams for cleaning, but it doesn't foam very much. But I've also used other ones that are super foaming, all right? So there's lots and lots of variables to consider. But my top tip really is invest in a good pressure washer. Like I said, my K2, the K4 is better. It's not brilliant, and arguably sort of K5, K7, if you're going down the Karcher route, would give you even more pressure, okay, and would naturally facilitate more foam. Okay, so I'm going to do another sort of tutorial on advice for getting the best foam. That's not what we're about here, and that's not what we're doing today, but I thought I'd just say that before we start. So the first one I'm going to do is the Blitz Detailing. So the first one we're looking at is the Blitz Detailing. Nice weight, okay, doesn't weigh too much. Nice and solid connection on the quick connect, all right, and easily usable. What I also like is the fact that when you rotate it, okay, the bottle stays like that. Okay, some of the ones on fixed lances go like that. The hose comes out and you lose sort of foam, but I like the fact that you can rotate it, and pretty much all of them should be doing that because it's quite a nice sort of swivel there as well. So we're going to be checking a couple of things. We're looking at the actual mechanism here. So it's got a portrait landscape, looking at how the sort of foam pattern adjustment works, and also the foam mix mix ratio works as well. So we'll have a play. Well, that's a good sign, actually adjusting the ratio, okay, of what's coming through from the bottle. All right, some of them seem to be an on or off, but that's got a definite good adjustment. So that's me ramped it right down to almost water, slowly ramping up to give full foam. Yep, absolutely nothing wrong with that. Okay, I like the portrait landscape. It's got a very, very wide spray pattern going down to almost a beam of foam, and I like the fact that the adjustment actually works on this one. Nice and easy to use, okay, and clearly gives good foam. Now, I have got this foam on an economy mix, okay. I could ramp it up and put sort of 2 parts foam to 9 parts water, okay, but I don't want to waste it, and this is exactly how it should be. So good loiter rate, good slip rate, job done. So that's the Blitz Detailing foam cannon. So the next one we're looking at is Alien Magic's snow foam gun. Okay, so we'll have a quick play, then we'll start mucking around with the settings. Right, straight away, this is on maximum. This one produces more foam than the majority. Same mix, definitely creamier. Loving this. Look how foamy that is. Good spread adjustment. And now we'll try the mix adjustment. So backing it right off so it should be like water. Yep, and ramping it up. Right, that is probably one of the most foamiest foam cannons I've used. It's a beautifully smooth operation. Okay, it doesn't have the portrait or landscape, okay, which would be a nice feature, but on maximum foam setting, that is probably one of the most foamiest sort of output we've got on these, so really, really good. So that's Alien Magic's foam gun. Very, very good. Okay, next we've got the Stjarnagloss company's snow foam cannon. Okay, we'll have a play, then we'll muck around with the adjustments. Straight away I get a good feeling. Doesn't throw out as much foam as others, however, good foam consistency on maximum. That's what we like, nice thick foam. Yes, it's on maximum setting, but this is an economy mix, remember, so we're not expecting sort of the really thick stuff, so good adjustment there. Now we'll try the mix. Right, so in terms of mix, that's probably the most sensitive of the guns we've tested. All right, you can, slight adjustment, instant response. So very, very good adjuster. Back to maximum. Very, very, very good. It just shows you the second cheapest. You don't have to spend mega bucks to get a good snow foam cannon that works. Really happy with that. So, Stjarnagloss company's snow foam cannon. So next is the very, very stylish Carbon Collective snow foam cannon. Okay, so we'll have a play, then we'll muck around with the adjustments. Okay. Okay, straight away, thicker foam from this one on maximum setting. Yeah, definitely thicker. Okay, so let's start having a play. Okay, very fine, sort of a fine jet setting. Not as responsive in terms of the spray pattern as others. Okay, just had to fade out there, a big lorry came past, so that's where we were. I'm just going to adjust the mix ratio. So that's minimum, and ramping up slowly. Bit jolty at the bottom end, but then it sort of sweeps quite well up to maximum. So nice action. The one thing I will notice is noticeably heavier, okay, and I am getting a bit of fatigue just doing that actually. So maybe I need to get down the gym, but noticeably heavier. Okay, but apart from that, very, very good. So Carbon Collective snow foam cannon. So we're getting caked in foam here. Next one, Stjarnagloss's snow foam gun. So once again, okay, we're going to have a play with the various adjustments. This one does have the portrait and landscape setting as well, so we'll have a play with that as well. Very, very smooth action, like that. Good thick foam on maximum. Okay, so let's have a play. Really liking that portrait landscape function. One thing I am noticing though, when you go to adjust your sort of nozzle pattern, it's almost a two-handed operation because you've got to hold the portrait landscape bit and adjust like that. All right, it'd be nice if when you did that, that locked out. Okay, so we'll have a continue playing. We'll just adjust this. So fine jet there. Very responsive, but I'm having to hold that bit. Because if not, it goes from landscape to portrait. All right, didn't that time, maybe just me. Bit finicky. Oh no, that's good, it was just on its end stop, so that's good. So, mixing, adjusting the mix ratio. Very responsive, quite a quick action, not much turn required there, so that's minimum. And it's almost like an on-off maximum, and then look how much I'm turning to go fully off. Okay, so that's quite good actually, not much effort involved, okay, but if you want greater control, okay, maybe go for another one, but that's good. Okay, lovely and smooth. I think I've just got to get used to using the sort of landscape portrait with the foam pattern adjuster on the end, but lovely, lovely. Thick foam, nice and smooth. Really, really good. Love it. So that's Stjarnagloss's snow foam cannon. So finally, the unbranded one that we got from China. Okay, the cheapest one. Now straight away, that is horrible. I'm not slating it because it's cheap, okay, but you're straight into a two-handed operation because I can hardly hold that up. Just straight into that. So top tip, get yourself one of these quick connect trigger guns. Just wait for that card to go past, and the one I got is from the Clay Cloth Company. We did review it, okay, others are available, okay, but it's so much easier to use, so let's see what this one's like. Let's say it produces foam. It's not quite as foamy, but there's, you know, if you're on a budget, absolutely nothing wrong with this one. The foam isn't as thick, and there's not, it doesn't sort of, as we saw by the sort of output test, it doesn't produce as much. It takes a lot longer to go through, but it's producing foam. Right, let's have a look at the adjustment. Nothing wrong with that. Very responsive. Now the foam mix. And that's what I was saying, when you go for the cheaper ones, it's literally on, off. All right, there's no adjustment. It's either nothing or everything, as you can see here. So that's, there's a bit of adjustment at the top end, but not much control. But it's producing foam, a bit more watery, even on maximum setting. Takes a bit longer, but you know, for a tenner, and you want a snow foam gun, there you go. Nothing wrong with that whatsoever. Not as foamy, not as efficient, okay, not as much control as the more expensive ones, but job done. So that's the cheap one. Okay, now for some snow foam porn. Final top tip from me, guys, just before we do the wrap up. Whenever you're using these snow foam cannons, look after them afterwards. Okay, so I have a clean bucket of water. I just dip it in. And because these have got gauzes that if you leave the snow foam in, okay, it can congeal and block it up. Just purge it out, okay, but purge it on all the settings you've used, okay. You can see all the snow foam still in there. So just do it until it goes clear water. Full range of movement, so it's exercising, getting the water all around all the mechanism. Give it a dry, put it away, and it's good to go for next time. Oh, there you are. Just finishing with Bacardi Coke, bear with. Hi Groupsters, this is Andy. Okay, so this is the summary review of the 6 snow foam lances that we've used. I'm going to make this short. Okay, you've seen the tests, you've seen the videos. The more I talk, the more my opinion, okay, might come in, which is what I don't want. But I'll just go through the salient points, observations, some pros, some cons, and all that kind of stuff, and give some additional information. Now, the prices quoted are accurate as of January 2021. Okay, they do not include postage and packaging, and no discount codes have been applied to the prices. Okay, so without further ado, we will crack on. Okay, so we're going to work from the cheapest to the most expensive in this sort of summary wrap-up. And like I said, I'm going to keep this short and sweet. So this one was the unbranded one, bought direct from China. Cost about £10. It was the lightest, weighing in at 399 grams. I've taken loads of notes, by the way. It was the cheapest, okay, clearly. It came last or joint third in a topple test. So this one fell over pretty quickly, probably because it was so tall. And the base is quite small as well. And it also came last in the discharge timing test. It took 1 minute 30 seconds to basically get through 500 millilitres, all right? I'm putting that down to the actual sort of mechanism up here is very small in compared to the other more bulky ones. Therefore, it physically couldn't discharge the product as quick as the rest. Now, there's no portrait or landscape mode on this, but it produced good foam. Not as thick as the others, okay, and not as much volume, okay. It was slower to get the foam out, but it was good, okay. There was good sort of pattern adjustment. You could quite clearly see I was turning the nozzle, and it was giving a good sort of from a focus beam to quite a nice fan, and it was progressive. There wasn't sort of any dull spots there. And one criticism I would do is the mix adjustment. It was literally on off. There was no sort of linear response to it. It was full foam, backed it off a bit to almost no foam. Okay, so that was a weak point of this snow foam cannon. But for £10, right, this is all about getting the product, okay, foamed onto the car, and the product itself will then do all the cleaning stuff. Okay, so these are delivery systems, and arguably this got the foam onto the car for £10. All right, so if you are on a budget, okay, maybe start with this one. Okay, it hasn't got all the airs and graces of the other ones, and it's not as efficient or powerful. Okay, but it gets that foam onto your car. Okay, which is what it's all about. So that's the first one, the cheapest one, the unbranded one, bought direct from China. Okay, so snow foam lance number 2. This one is from the Clay Cloth Company. It was the second lightest at 515 grams, so a nice light snow foam cannon, and it was second place in terms of pricing. Okay, so we already know that was the cheapest. This one was just £25. Okay, so joint first on the topple test, all right, because it's slightly lighter on top, nice sort of thick bottle with a super wide base. All right, so this was the joint first in terms of the hardest to push over, which is a good design feature. Discharge sort of timing, it was 5th at 1 minute 12. Okay, so it took a bit longer to discharge the product. Okay, but fantastic foam, nice thick, consistent foam. It didn't have any portrait or landscape function on it, so it's just a single sort of action there. Okay, but excellent spread pattern. All right, there was no sort of dull spots or miss spots. So from the focus beam right through to its maximum fan, it was linear, progressive, and constant. Okay, I noticed that. I was really, really impressed with that. And a very, very sensitive sort of mix control. All right, so very, very good. All right, it wasn't one of those on-off. All right, it was small amounts of turn. Okay, and it was, like I said, progressive from right down to 0, right back up. Okay, it wasn't on-off. All right, which I like that. So it gives you good control. So it just shows you, okay, what you can get for your money. Now, other design features on this one, it's an all brass construction. It's got the breather hole there, which is all about maintaining the pressure in your bottle. Some of the older ones, like this one, don't have the breather holes in it, and what then happens is, as the liquid is drawn out, it creates a vacuum, okay, and that then starts affecting the performance and efficiency of the snow foam lance itself. So every one of these from now on have got that breather hole, which is a good feature. It gives you constant, okay, sort of performance out of your snow foam lance. Really, really nice. Okay, it's got the sort of graded sort of 0 to 800 scaling there. Nice raised letters, so it's quite easy to see, and it was quite easy for me to sort of get my measurements when I was mixing the snow foam. Nice and strong, nice and stable, good control of the actual pattern and the mix for £25. Now, this one doesn't come in fancy boxes. It just comes in a well-packaged sort of brown box, okay, with lots and lots of padding. So the emphasis with this one is really on the functionality of the snow foam lance itself. Okay, the focus is, does this operate well? And as a result of, there's no embossed sort of logo, there's no sort of a professional looking box, etc. That keeps the price down, so you're getting a very, very high performance snow foam lance at a very, very competitive price. So really impressed with that one. All right, really, really good one. So I probably wouldn't go for that one, to be honest. All right, if you are on a slightly more sort of stringent budget, you cannot go far wrong with that whatsoever. Okay, so that's number 2 from the Clay Cloth Company. Oh well. How unprofessional of me, drinking on the job. Okay, number 3. Okay, this one is from Blitz Detailing. Okay, so 4th heaviest, a bit more on the weighty side. Okay, quite a sort of substantial sort of difference there. There's more to it. Okay, so it's going to weigh a bit more. Price, it was in 3rd place. We're going up in price, just £5 more than the Clay Cloth Company one at £29.99. Joint first in the topple test with the Clay Cloth Company one, and as you see, they've got identical bodies. Okay, different mechanisms on top and lids, etc., but the actual bodies the actual bottles are the same, so that clearly works. Okay, it's a well-designed bottle, which facilitates it standing upright. Okay, not pushing over as easy as some of the other ones. Discharge time to discharge 500 millilitres was 4th place at 1 minute 8 seconds, so pretty comparable with the Clay Cloth Company one. All right, the beauty of this one is it's got that portrait and landscape mode. Now, I had a few issues because it's the first time I've used these, getting to sort of grips with it. Really, really like that feature. Okay, I can really see some use in it. And probably hence why it's a bit more expensive. Okay, there's more sort of engineering goes into it. There's more sort of additional production process to do that. Okay, but for £5 more, it's a winner from me. Good nozzle control, in fact, very good nozzle control I've put. All right, so it's very, very sort of linear again. Okay, there's no sort of dead spots. Good thick foam, as you saw in the video, and a very, very wide spread pattern. And that's probably because the actual nozzle, the orifice, is larger than this one. Okay, so it just goes a bit, it affords its, the foam to go a bit wider. Okay, so another really, really good one. Like the Clay Cloth Company, I think the focus with this one is just the product, the actual item itself. It comes in a very similar brown box, well packaged, etc., and with no sort of embossed logos or anything like that. That keeps the price down to a very, very affordable, competitive price point. Okay, so £25 for that one, £5 extra. You are getting the landscape portrait control, if that's what you're after. Okay, and if it is, okay, this is a very, very affordable option at just under £30. Okay, so really, really impressed with that one. Okay, really like the feel of it. No fatigue on my arm when I was using it. In fact, none of these are, because they're the lighter ones. Okay, so a winner from Blitz Detailing. Okay, so snow foam cannon number 4. This one from Stjarnagloss. Okie dokie. So 5th heaviest. Okay, so going up in weight again, 614 grams. 4th in the price, so 4th most expensive, just under 40 at £38. Toppled test, joint last, okay, sort of toppled within a couple of inches. Now, I personally think it's because there's a slight, I think that's a dent. It's either production indents, but naturally that just goes on this edge. So that may explain why it's toppling so quickly. Discharge test, 1st place. Okay, this thing is an animal. Discharged 500 millilitres in 41 seconds. So if you want a, if you're a professional detailer and you want a snow foam lance that gets the product on the car super quick, hands down this one. I think the 2nd place was about 15 seconds slower, so 41 seconds to get through 500 millilitres. The product is fantastic. It does have the landscape and portrait. That's the one I had sort of difficulty getting used to, but that'll come with practice. Very, very smooth, good thick foam, very, very wide spread pattern, probably the widest. And I think that's because it got the additional indents there, so it naturally affords it to go even further. Okay, so huge, almost 180 degrees spray pattern, which was good. Very good spread pattern, like I said, very quick mix ratio, not much turning, so it was it was progressive. Okay, so it was a linear response. Okay, but there wasn't much. Right, it did react to every bit of the turn, but it wasn't like, you know, a full turn. It was almost like a 1/3 of a turn from minimum. Okay, so this one is basically a high performance one in terms of speed and output. Now for £38 you do get a few extras. You get obviously the branding, which is part of the bottle itself. Really good sort of raised numbering on. So you've got all your milliliters from 100 milliliters to a litre, 1,000 milliliters. You've also got very useful mix ratios, so 1 to 10, 1 to 1, and all the ones in between. And another scale from 4 to 26. I haven't got a clue what that is. I thought it was fluid ounces, but it's not. Okay, so there's another scale for another unit of measurement there. All right, so that's really, really nice. You also, which I like, get these adapters. Okay, so this is a Karcher adapter that goes in your snow foam, your pressure washer lance. That screws in with the PTFE tape, which is included, and you've got a quick release mechanism, which then can just go into that if you haven't already got a quick connect gun, which is really, really nice. Comes in very professional packaging. Okay, so you're getting a bit more, all right, so hence why it's a bit more expensive, £38, but you're getting a lot. All right, so this one really, although it's slightly heavier, high performance, really quick output. All right, everything is very, very small, okay, in terms of movement that's required, and that huge spray pattern. So if you're doing large vehicles, you're onto a winner with this one. Okay, so really, really, really nice product from Stjarnagloss. Okay, so snow foam cannon or snow foam gun number 5. This one is from Alien Magic. This one here. So 3rd heaviest at 581 grams, so not the heaviest, sort of in the middle ground. Just under £40, so it's come in 5th, the 5th most expensive at $39.99. Topple test, joint 2nd. Okay, it was only half an inch behind the 1st placed snow foam cannons. Slightly different sort of design, very, very wide at the base, but slightly sort of a bit heavier on top. Okay, that might be an influential variable on that one. Discharge time, yeah, very, very good. Okay, to discharge 500 milliliters, 1 minute. Okay, on the nose in 3rd place. Main feature for this one, super thick foam. All right, out of all of them, it produced the thickest foam. So if you're after those glamorous shots where you see YouTubers with, you know, super thick foam, it's probably using that one or a very similar one to it. Okay, really, really good thick foam. Very thick, very creamy. Good speed of adjustment, very smooth operation. This one almost purrs at you when it's in operation. It's very consistent sound, all right, which is really nice. Well engineered. Hasn't got the portrait or the landscape function on this one. Okay, so $39.99. You are getting a few extra bits as well. You're getting a very, very professional packaging. All right, it's got all the mix ratios on. Now I mixed this at economy, and you saw the foam. It talks about a thick blanket. OMG, can you imagine how thick that would be? Okay, so it gives you some good instructions there. It's promoting its various coloured snow foams as well, which is nice. It's got the breather hull. The actual logo is sort of part of the actual bottle as well. It's branded. The branding is very good, so that is the Alien Magic colour. All right, and one thing I really found useful is the actual levels of your fluid isn't just raised the same color as the plastic. You can actually see the writing, so this was the easiest to fill up and get my measurements right. Really like that. I'd like to see that on all bottles actually. Yes, it's an extra production process, all right, but I think, you know, that is really, really useful. All right, so really, really nice. And like I said, I'm hoping the video showed you a significant difference in the foam. All the same sort of mixed ratios between the water and the snow foam fluid. All right, this one produced super thick foam, so really like that one. Good adjustment on the mix ratio and the fan pattern as well. Once again, very, very wide because it's got that indent, just gives that bit of extra width on your foam pattern, which is really, really good. So number 5 is by Alien Magic. Okay, snow foam number 6, the last one, this one by Carbon Collective. So it was the heaviest, okay, in 6th position at 638 grams, most expensive at £45. Topple test, it was joint last, okay, so it was toppling after about 2 inches of travel. Discharge test, it was second, okay, so 50 seconds to sort of discharge 500 millilitres, so once again, a bit of a powerhouse, really gets the product onto the car quickly. It's got no portrait landscape function, good thick foam, not as responsive on the foam pattern, okay, it wasn't as linear as Progressive, okay, there was, in my opinion, a few dead spots, okay, so that was an observation, but good, good thick foam, and the sort of mix ratio, a bit jolty, okay, that's my personal opinion. It wasn't as smooth, okay, and as sensitive as some of the other ones. What I do like about this is the styling, the engineering, okay. In terms of engineering, this is very, very nice, and I've asked quite a few people who don't know anything about snow foam cannons, which one would they choose? 9 out of 10 have said this one. Okay, it's very, very stylish. It's in the traditional styling of Carbon Collective, which I love. All right, it comes with a very stylish box as well. Okay, so the actual theming is the same throughout their range, which is what I like. Lovely polished metal, sort of metal attachment there. Really, really nice. It looks quality. Now, the main issue I've got with this one is, although it's very, very stylish, and it's got the sort of levels there, I had no idea what was in this. Okay, I held a bright light up into it when I was putting the water and the foam in. I just could not see what the level was, and indeed I used one of the other ones, filled it up and then poured it in. That was a bit of a challenge. When I was doing the discharge rate test, you probably saw me looking at it. I had no idea what was left in it, so I kept having to stop, shake it and then carry on again. Although it's stylish, I think that is a major, major issue with this one, and so much so that I probably would love to use this because it's a wonderful piece of engineering, okay, but I probably wouldn't use it with that bottle. I'd change the bottle because this is almost doesn't serve a function. If that was clear and not sort of frosted plastic, you might have a fighting chance, and even with a coloured snow foam you might see it, but I at no point today could see the level of the liquid in it, okay, so it's a bit of a shame on that one because that would stop me using it in total. Okay, quite happy to use this, okay, because it was a good product, okay, very quick delivery system, but I'd probably put one of them on if it fitted. All right, so that's my personal opinion on that one. It might not be a concern to other people, but certainly puts me off a little bit. Okay, and the only other observation, 638 grams, noticeably heavier, and it was the only one that I sort of thought I was getting a bit of fatigue, even though it was quite close to my hand on the quick connect trigger gun. It is noticeably heavier. Okay, so either I need to get down the gym, okay, or I need to use another one. All right, but very, very stylish, very, very stylish, and produced good foam and did its job well. Okay, so just my opinion on that one. So that is all 6 done. So you thought that was it, didn't you? And I know every one of you is waiting for me to tell you which is the best one, so you can all go out and buy it. Well, I'm not going to. Well, I sort of am. Okay, so this is my summary, the best one. Okay, the best one in terms of price that produces foam that's usable is that one. But it is. Okay, it's cheapest and it produces foam. The next one is that's the best one. Okay, for £25, okay, you're getting a very, very efficient, stable item. Okay, that has got sweet sort of functionality in terms of spray pad and mix ratio. So I'd go for that one. That's the best one. But for £5 more, you can get that one, which is very similar to that one in terms of performance. But you've got the landscape portrait. Okay, so if you're after that, that's the best one. Then that's the best one as well, really. Okay, because it's got it gets the product onto the car so much quicker than any of the others. Okay, massive difference, about 15 seconds. So that's the best one as well. But then that's the best one as well, really, because it produces the most foam, by far the foamiest output of all the snow foam cans. So that's the best one. But then arguably that one's the best one as well, because it is a superbly engineered item, super stylish. So if that's what you're after, that's the best one. I'll let you decide. I thank you.